Hey, how's it going? If you're new here, my name is Jan and I love makeup. And if you're not new, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you. Today's video is one I really kind of thought I had done recently, but I went back and double checked and I haven't. So we're going to talk about all of my current favorite makeup-y bits. Everything from base to highlight. So if you want to see all the things that I'm talking about in this video, stick around, we're going to get into it. Let me just say real quick, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, now is a great time to do that. I upload several videos every week, and if you click on the little bell and choose all, YouTube will notify you when I upload a new one, and then you can choose to watch it or not. It's totally up to you, no pressure. Either way, I appreciate you hanging out with me. All right, let's just get into it. I'm about to have a very naked face. Brace yourself. Here we go. I'm really excited to do this video. It feels like I did it recently, but I just checked and I haven't. So I did my brows already. I used the Benefit Brow Styler. I just use this in the front of my brow. I've mentioned this recently. It's one of the kind of wide brow pencil thingies, but it just makes it really easy to whack on a quick brow. And then for the outer half and tail of my brow, I used up my Rare Beauty one. So now I'm using up the AOA Studio Slim Brow Pencil. This is just a little bit darker and a super skinny pencil, so it does a really nice job for the tail. And then it doesn't get too thick and crazy. I mean, I do my brows before I do my face, so it's certainly easy enough to clean up, but I like how easy it is to put on. So I've done that already, and I primed my eyes with my Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base, and this is in the shade Light, I believe. Again, the sticker on the bottom no longer says what it is, but I either use this or the Milani eye primer, which I also really like. It goes on clear, which I don't like because I have so much discoloration on my eyelids. You can't really see where it ends up, but I do like it. I just go below my brow with some concealer and it's fine. And I always apply the eye base with this Rare Beauty concealer brush. I use it for my eye base and I use it for my concealer. And when I'm done with my eyes, I wipe it off on this little nano towel. I cut it up into 4 little pieces because I need it like face cloth size. I've linked these before in my, it's dirty, I've been using it in my description box. I'll link it again because these are amazing. They're great in the kitchen. They're great for cleaning off your makeup brushes, washable, reusable, so good. And for the past couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I've been using my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base under my eyes. I don't always need something under my eyes, and I do have to be careful. You can see I have one little milia spot right now. So many under eye things give me milia, but this hasn't done that to me. So fingers crossed, it keeps being okay. All right, now, another product that I just won't stop using. I love, love, love. You've heard it a million times. It's the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm Powder. This is in the shade Universal. I did try to buy my winter shade. It didn't work out, so it's too light, which I can use. But this is where I'm at with the balm. And I like to press this on with a velour puff. It doesn't have to be a fancy schmancy one. I got this little 6-pack of 3 white, 3 black off of Amazon. I do really, really want to try the new mini ones from Huda, I think. Oh, they look so stinking cute. So anyway, I just go in with this little puff, get some on it, and then I just start pressing it in where I get the most oily. And it really is just my T-zone. So I don't rub this, I don't drag it, I just press it in. And for me, it works perfectly. I love, love, love it so much. I can't imagine not having this for my makeup routine. It just makes all the difference in what my makeup looks like a few hours later. All right, next we have foundation. So I have a couple of new ones. The MAC, I have the new KVD one, but my absolute most favorite go-to is the Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Foundation. This stuff is so unbelievably expensive, which is not cool, but this is the perfect shade for me this time of year. It's been a while since I've been this color. Usually we're in the Caribbean this time of year and our friends are there now and we're not. And I really like to apply this foundation with my Smashbox. I think this is a concealer brush, but I really like how this applies it. So I've squirted out a little bit on my palette. It's probably more than I'm going to need. I was yammering and got carried away. So I'm just gonna dip in and start applying this all over my face. I'm probably gonna cut out some of this, but the thing I like the most about this foundation is not only the color match is perfect for me, but it's very, very thin and you can apply it like I'm doing now, just nice and thin all over. And then I can go back over spots like my hyperpigmentation and just build it up a little bit. And it doesn't look heavy and gross. So I'm just going to get this plastered all over and I'll come right back. Okay, foundation is all blended out and I did end up using all of it, which was 4 pumps. So the pump design for this foundation is what most foundations would be, a half pump. Lisa Eldridge designed it so it would be less wasteful, and quite frankly, I think she did a darn good job. Okay, concealer. I have been a die-hard Wet n Wild Incognito concealer fan for quite a long time, especially for like makeup and how often new things come out. And I was on Ulta, I'm not sure what I was looking for specifically, but I saw this Flower Beauty concealer and I was like, you know what? That looks pretty good. It's the Get Real Serum Concealer. So I thought I would get it and try it. And oh my gosh, I cannot get over how much I like this concealer. I really like the design of the doe foot. It's a little bit different than what we normally see. And it sits really, really nicely on my under eyes. So I'm just gonna put concealer where I always do. I do find with this concealer, I really do have to make sure my under eyes are hydrated. And I recently tried the Tarte Creaseless Shape Tape Concealer, and I was pleasantly surprised by that one as well. I think these two, this one and the Tarte one, behave very much the same way on my under eyes, which is interesting because the Tarte one, you know, it's a much higher end. And I thought about getting, because I got it in a shade slightly too light. And so I thought about getting another one in a closer shade to what I need for my under eyes. But because this one is almost the same thing, I decided not to. Why spend the money on something when I pretty much have what feels like a decent dupe? So I decided not to get it. I may, at some point, change my mind and pick it up. But for right now, I'm just going to use this Flower Beauty one because it is so nice. And again, using this Rare Beauty brush because it is my absolute favorite. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, geez, Jen, you're looking a little crazy. I take my handy dandy sponge, which I did use to blot over my face after I got the foundation on, and I'm just gonna pat out where I put the concealer. There, it's all blended. My under eyes actually look pretty good. I mean, they're wrinkly. I'm 45. They're going to be wrinkly. There's nothing I can do about it short of, some kind of surgical procedure, which I'm not doing right now. If I had all the money in the world and all the time in the world, would I? I might do a little something, something here and there, but I earned these wrinkles. They're mine, fair and square. Okay, powder. I have raved about the NJC Velvet Finishing Powder for literally years, much longer than I've had my YouTube channel. Since this first came out, I have loved it. I still love it. I haven't done a side-by-side wear test, and perhaps I should, but I feel like most of the powders I have do the same thing. So I've been using the Believe Beauty one. This is the Dollar General brand. I've been using this one a lot. I like it. It looks good. It does exactly what I need it to. So, I think it's fine. I am going to use my big Heart Puff. Again, got this off the Zon. And this is how I prefer to powder my face. Specifically, my T-zone. During the summer, I'll use the puff and do my whole face. But this time of year, things are a bit drier. The air is dry, so my face has dried out a bit. Not like bad. I wouldn't say I have dry skin, but I don't need quite as much powder on the rest of my face this time of year. And then I like to go in with my handy dandy Rephr number 30 and just get a little bit of whatever's in the cover and bounce that over the rest of my face and my neck, because I dragged the foundation down my neck because my neck is always white with a hint of blue. Not a cute look. So, but this is a really nice, it's kind of flimsy and applies powder really lightly, which, is pretty good this time of year. Let's move on to contour. I've been using this one for ages. It's the Kevyn Aucoin, the sculpting powder in medium. I have the Kaleidos Trio that I absolutely love, but I just keep reaching for this one. And so I use this IT Cosmetics eye smudger brush to do my lower lip and my Cupid's bow. I think any flat smudger brush would get the job done. It wouldn't have to be necessarily this one. It's just what I happen to have. And then a little there. For my cheek contour, I've been using this Blinged Brushes eye brush. It's much too big for my eye. It's humongous. But I really like this to apply my contour shade. Where you put your contour changes for every single person. I like mine there because on this side I have that hollow, so I can kind of line up my contour with the hollow and it works out. So that's what I do. And then a little bit down here. As for bronzer, my most reached for is the L'Oreal 24-Hour Fresh Wear bronzer. But lately, I've been using the Alamar Cosmetics. This is the light trio, and I just bounce between the two darker shades and use this as my bronzer. And I always, always, always use my Rephr number 4. I used to use the number 5, and I tried it again recently, and I don't like it as well as I like the number 4. This one's really small and fits perfectly where I want to add bronzer. So I always use the number 4 for bronzer. And I usually do my chins, and then I'll drag it down my neck a little bit because, you know, like I said, my neck is always a whitish blue color, and that just isn't cute. So I try to match up my neck with the rest of my body a little bit. I always wear these kind of tube top type dresses, so my shoulders, my neck, my décolletage is always out. Now we're on to blush, and I'm not gonna lie to you, lately I have had 2 favorites, and so I thought I'm gonna show you both of them. The first one is the Danessa Myricks Beauty Yummy Skin, what is this? Flushed. This is in the shade Prima Donna. These products contain oxalate, which helps with oil control. And the other blush is this Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush. These are absolutely stunning, and this is in the shade Bold Heart. I love both of these shades so much. One is a couple of dollars, the Essence, and the Danessa Myricks is $25. And I like this so much, I am going to get more shades. I just am. So I think, oh, yesterday I did something I haven't done before. I went in with my finger in the Danessa Myricks and I put it on my yips. Look at that. Pigmented, pretty, comfortable. It's so good. Really bright. And yesterday I did, you know, a lip liner and all of that. But I just wanted to show you, even on my lips, it looks really good. So I think I'm going to go in with the Essence. I'll end up wiping off my lip because I'm going to show you a different lipstick. But let's just use this. I'm not quite sure at the moment what I'm gonna do for an eye look, because that's gonna be a separate video, I think. But look at that. I have seen so many reviews on this blush and they are incredibly mixed. Some people say it's super pigmented, oh my gosh, be careful. Some people say it's nice and buildable. I dipped in twice, once for each cheek. And it goes on beautifully. I love it. And it can certainly be built up if you want a stronger blush, which I have done. And I think it's gorgeous. So yeah, like, I just love it. And again, the Rephr 04. It's just for my face, for what I'm looking for, the perfect shape to apply blush. Love, love, love it. Before I go in with a buffing powder, I always put on my little freckle mole thingies. This is the Ulta Beauty Ultra Slim Brow Pencil in dark brown. Really, any kind of brow pencil. It says dark brown, but it has a bit of a warmer tone to it, which I think works for freckles or moles or what have you. All right, for a finishing powder, before I apply highlight, I have been loving this L'Oreal Paris 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation Powder. I mean, I obviously use it a lot. And for this, I really like the Wayne Goss number 2 brush. I just dip into the powder and just kind of and just make sure everything is blended nicely and there's no like weird harsh edges and no shine, because I don't like a shiny face. Generally speaking, if you are an oily skin type, you prefer matte. So I really like this. Just for a finishing powder. I have the Dior Powder No Powder too, which I also use. Probably not as much, or not like half the time, but pretty often. I go back and forth between the Dior and this one, which is, again, so crazy. Drugstore, high-end. Okay, for highlight, so exciting. It's the Blend Buddy Noctilucent palette. This is just an incredibly fun, beaming, knock your socks off highlight palette. You've got so many fun options: blue, green, yellow, purple, bright pink, more of a toned down pink, even though it looks really dark. These are absolutely gorgeous on the skin. They are very wet looking and not the kind of thing that you're gonna miss. So you have to really like an in-your-face highlighter. I have a second favorite as well, and it's the Rare Beauty Highlight in Exhilarate. This is so pretty. Again, not a subtle highlight, but not super colorful and like in your face. And I pretty much always apply not colorful highlight with my Wayne Goss 03. I'm just gonna dip into that. Look at that. Again, not subtle, but it's a really nice highlight. I almost always want a beaming highlight, but it is subtle in that it's not super colorful and attention grabbing. It just looks really pretty. So I always use this for my cheek highlight. For the Blend Buddy highlight palette, I use my Haus Labs highlight brush. It works really well for that kind of super sparkly in-your-face highlight. And up until recently, I have been using the little Morphe M something for my inner corner highlight in Cupid's Bow. And I did my Rephr video talking about my 5 top favorite Rephr brushes. And I mentioned that I thought this would be good for Cupid's Bow, inner corner, brow bone, what have you. And so I thought, just do it then. Try it and see what you think. So that's what we're doing today. Same highlighter. I don't know yet what I'm doing for an eye look. So I want to do more subtle, not colorful highlight. And it's so pretty. And then I have been tapping in just a teeny tiny bit with my ring finger and applying it right here. I don't like how it looks on the bridge of my nose anymore. And the center of my eyes is very wrinkly. I don't know why. I make a ton of faces. That's probably why. But just like the slightest little bit, I think kind of looks nice. So that's the highlight for, I think, a week or so. Time is weird, and I film a lot of videos and then schedule them to go up whenever the urge strikes. So I'm not sure exactly how long I've been using it, but I've been loving this lip combination. I did blot off the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin flushed thingy. So the lip liner is Juvia's Place Sweet Nothing. And the lipstick is Unearthly Cosmetics in the shade Dreamy. This liquid lipstick is very comfortable. It wears off almost undetectable. It just looks really, really good. So I've been wearing these two anytime I need a neutral lip look. So I'm going to quickly do that off camera and then I'll be right back. Okay, so there's the lips done. I think it's just really nice, effortless, easy, no muss, no fuss. So I think I'm going to go off camera, do the eye look, and then I'll come back and share like the last couple of bits with you and show you the finished look. All right, so this is the final look. If you're interested, I did use my 4 favorite eye brushes from Rephr to create this eye look, and they're just no fail. They are so, so, so good. The 13, the 2, the 3, and the 21. My favorite eye brushes at the moment. So hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Either way, I appreciate hanging out with me today. Be good and remember to be kind to you.